Unlock creative control over your images and videos by mastering shutter speed on your Sony A7 IV. Shutter speed, quite literally, controls how long your camera's sensor is exposed to light. Think of it as the window of time your camera captures. A faster shutter speed, like 1/1000th of a second, means a tiny window, freezing action. A slower shutter speed, like 1/30th of a second, is a wider window, allowing more light and, crucially, creating motion blur. To adjust shutter speed on your Sony A7 IV, we'll primarily use two settings: the shutter priority mode or manual mode. First, let's look at shutter priority, denoted by an S on your mode dial. Rotate the mode dial to this position. Once in shutter priority, you'll use the rear control wheel Y, the one with the L button in the center Y, to directly change your shutter speed. Just press it in and then rotate to scroll through your options. For full creative freedom, switch to manual mode, indicated by an M. In manual mode, you'll control both shutter speed and aperture. To adjust shutter speed here, you'll typically use the front dial, located just below the shutter button. You can also customize which dial controls which setting in your camera's menu. In bright conditions, you'll need a faster shutter speed to avoid overexposure. For freezing fast action, like sports or wildlife, aim for speeds of 1/500th of a second or faster. Conversely, to capture the silky smooth flow of a waterfall or the light trails of cars at night, you'll want much slower speeds, potentially several seconds long. Remember, with slower speeds, a tripod is your best friend to avoid camera shake. For videography, shutter speed plays a crucial role in motion blur and the overall cinematic look. The general rule of thumb is to set your shutter speed to twice your frame rate. So, if you're shooting at 24 frames per second, a shutter speed of 1/48 or 1/50th of a second is ideal. This creates a natural motion blur that's pleasing to the eye. When you adjust shutter speed, you'll often need to compensate with ISO or aperture to maintain the correct exposure, especially in changing light conditions. Experiment with these three elements: Y, shutter speed, aperture, and ISO Y, to achieve your desired results, whether you're freezing moments or painting with light.